Let's move on to the reading for today from Unshakable Spirit. And today's story is number 14. I do not wish to be a slave to riches. A young man once worked for a wealthy merchant. He was extremely bright and talented, and the merchant thought highly of him. One day the merchant summoned the lad and said, "You have a knack for business. Here are 100 gold coins. I want you to use them as capital for whatever business you like and return them to me tenfold." Overjoyed, the youth set out to do as he'd been told. Instead of starting a big venture that might only fail, he decided to build up a small business and earn a slow but steady profit. He bought paper scraps, made them into tissues, and sold them for a small amount. In 3 years, he had earned 300 gold coins, and in 5 years, 1,000. He went back to his employer and reported, "I increased the gold you gave me tenfold. Here it is." His boss was impressed. "I knew you had talent, but this is amazing. Now go out and do the same thing again." Several years later, the younger man returned with 10,000 gold coins, as promised. His boss praised him again and instructed him to increase his capital tenfold once more, which he did in only 3 years' time. Still unsatisfied, the master told him to come back with 1,000,000 gold coins. This time the younger man drew himself up and replied, "Turning 100,000 gold coins into 1,000,000 is far easier than turning 100 into 10,000. But however much money one has, it is never enough. Human desire knows no bounds. I do not wish to be a slave to limitless desire. Gold serves no purpose when we are dead." And so he firmly rejected his master's wishes and became a Buddhist monk. One day, a man paid a call on an older man who lived alone and was gravely ill. "You are really sick, my friend," he said. "Why don't you go into the hospital?" "I can't afford it," came the answer. "You own land, don't you? Why not sell some of it and use the proceeds to pay for your treatment?" His friend's eyes opened wide in astonishment. "Heavens, no! Why would I do a thing like that?" "Well, because you're sick." "Yes, but you never know what may happen down the road. I'm saving that land for an emergency." "This is an emergency," insisted the man, but to no avail. 1 week later, he received word of his friend's passing. "I peer into the depths of the abyss, where I must fall. Ah, how unfathomable the pit of my desires." Very good. So I think this is a wall all spiritual people hit against, which is when we find that our desires are unfathomably bottomless and deep. And what that means is that no matter how many of our desires we fulfill, we're never going to find true happiness because there's always more that we want. And as soon as we fulfill one desire, we are already thinking, okay, what's next? We are already planning ahead, and this thirst, endless thirst for fulfilling the five desires, um, it creates like a sense of exhaustion at the same time too. And the older we get, the more difficult it becomes to fulfill these desires. So, so this is, I think, a very profound realization that maybe not many people will have because we are driven by desires, and nobody or very few people question that we are made of these desires. So, because it's so instinctual, we just keep following what our instinct tells us. I want this, I want that, I want this. So, just going about here and there, and then there comes a point when we realize all the money or gold coins we have amassed, it's not of any use if we don't have the life. for the health to enjoy them. Yeah, so this is how we turn to Buddhism. So, what should I do with these endless desires that I have? Buddha shows us the middle way. We need to fulfill desires to the extent that we can have energy, go forward towards our life's ultimate goal, which is the happiness that holds us fast, never to abandon us. Then everything gains meaning, and we can find that middle point wisely. So I'm very happy to be here practicing meditation with all of you here. Today is Thursday, so we will have Morita Sensei's advanced session at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Have a wonderful Thursday, everyone. Bye.